Hi friends, now we have reached the last video of this quite long lesson. In this video we will talk of the partnership deed. Deed is an agreement, right? So a partnership is a relationship originating from the partnership deed. This deed or agreement, let's see, the deed means agreement, can be in written form or it can be oral. But again, same thing, written agreement is preferable anytime, because oral things may be miscommunicated or forgotten. It is better to have everything in writing. So which details have to be included in the partnership deed? The first is the name and address of the firm. The name, age, address, type and telephone number of all partners. Type means either active partner, sleeping partner, nominal partner, minor partner, etc. Partner by estoppel cannot be mentioned in this, because वो तो action अपने action से वो partner बनता है. Then the purpose and type of business. Is it a trading firm? Is it a manufacturing firm? What type of firm is it? Is it a professional firm like a chartered accountant or a lawyer firm? What type of business is it? The date of establishment. When was it established? And the duration of the firm. Is it a partnership by will, or is it a partnership for time period or a project? The details of partner's capital. How much money has each partner bought? The interest on capital, if it is kept to mention, like if partner has given loan to the partnership firm, then what interest is being paid on to him? All that has to be mentioned. Then same with the partner's borrowings. If a partner withdraws money from the partnership firm, that has to be mentioned. The interest on the borrowing, what rate of interest he has to pay, the limit of the borrowing, all this has to be mentioned. The rate of interest on loan given by partners. If a partner gives a loan to the business, what is the rate of interest payable to him? The ratio of profit loss distribution among various partners has to be mentioned. The distribution of work among partners has to be mentioned. Okay, which partner will do which work is very important to avoid any conflict in the future. Then the details of salary, commission or other facility of partners. See, partner may take profit, but it may happen that some partners are active partners, others are sleeping partners. Now if let's say there are 4 partners in a business and 2 partners are active, 2 are sleeping. If all partners take same ratio of profit, then the active partner may feel that I work and the sleeping partner gets all the benefit. To stop that, either you may change the profit ratio. Your active partner gets 30% each and sleeping partner gets 20% each. Or a better way would be, the 4 partners may say that our partnership is equal partnership. So each partner will get 25% of profit, equal share. But whichever partner is working as an active partner will also take a salary from the partnership firm. So that active partner now first draws salary. First salary is paid to him. The salary as decided by the partners. Salary is paid to him, and from the remaining amount after deducting the salary and other expenses, whatever profit is accrued, again all 4 partners will get equal profit sharing. So the person who works more will get salary and profit sharing. So then he is happy. This is good. Why? Because one fine day that active partner may think that I'll appoint now a manager is ready, my staff is ready, I don't need to be active now. So then the salary can be shifted to the manager, and that now that active partner can also become a sleeping partner or a partner who's working less. Then provision for accounting and bookkeeping of partnership firm. How the accounting will be kept, how books will be kept, who will do the auditing, all this has to be mentioned in the partnership deed. Provision of power for opening bank account and for banking transactions. Which partner's signature is required to open the bank account? For banking transactions, how many partners' signature is there? Let's say if there are 10 partners, all 10 cannot open the bank account together. So they may give power to 4 partners. Okay, 4 partners will sign and open the bank account, and out of the 4, any 2 signature will be valid. So 2 out of 4 can be done, or they can say the main partner, that the active partner, his signature compulsory, and out of the remaining 3, anyone. So there are different ways by which the bank account can be operated. Same way, which method you will adopt to evaluate the goodwill of the firm. See, goodwill means market में आपकी standing क्या है, आपका market में value क्या है. That's called goodwill. It may happen that asset wise, your hard asset wise, a firm may have 5 crore rupees of goods and building, but that doesn't mean the firm's value is 5 crore rupees. Let us say the business firm, partnership firm, has been in business since last 15 years. So they have a very good goodwill in the market. They have a very loyal customer base. So if you calculate some the goodwill, it won't be 5 crore rupees of their asset. That goodwill may be 15 crore or 20 crore. Based on that, the partnership firm can be sold. Then provision of intermediary for solution of disputes and difference of opinion. Suppose there are disputes, suppose there are difference of opinion among partners. Who will be the intermediary? How will he help in solving the disputes? Who will have the signing authority for various documents? Which partner will be the active partner? Which partner will be signing documents and taking decisions on behalf of other partners? Then what are the provisions for admission of new partner and for retirement of old partner? What to do if any partner wants to retire, if new partner wants to be included? How to do it? Right? What are the requirements? What are the provisions? Then the rights and duties of partners, that has to be mentioned. The provision for admission of minor partner. If a minor partner has to be admitted, like when old partner dies and in his place his son has to be put as partner, the son is a minor, then what are the provisions? How to admit him? What work, or how and when will become a major partner? All these provisions. And then again, at the time of dissolution of the firm, how do we settle the accounts? The provisions for settlement of accounts at time of dissolution of firm. All these things have to be mentioned at the time of starting the partnership firm. So when you make the partnership deed, all these details have to be included. Right? Please remember, all this is very, very important. Right? This is a very important answer also. So the above details can be shown in written partnership deed. It cannot be oral. It has to be written. In case of absence of partnership deed, the partnership act comes into force automatically. See, again, very important thing. Okay, suppose the partners have registered their firm, but the partnership deed is not signed among them. So all these provisions are not established among them. Then what? So there's a solution. There's a Partnership Act of 1932, and this Partnership Act of 1932, which has many it has updations or additions on it over a period of time. Like 2012, there was a updation. 2014, there was another updation. There was a further clause that. So according to the Partnership Act of 2014, whatever laws have been fixed by the government will automatically come in force. So the court will act according to the Partnership Act if the partnership deed of the firm is not there. Now this topic is just a revision between sole proprietorship and partnership firm. Just see on the base of meaning, on the base of number of members. Right? See that all this is very, very important. This is all very important. On the base of capital, establishment, decisions, profit loss, registration, maintenance of secrecy, transfer of share, and risk. Okay, so we've done this chapter. Now let's spend a few more minutes just to see the important questions of this chapter, and I'll take it up. You keep in mind these questions and pay special attention in learning these questions. So all the objectives we have to learn, 1 mark answers. These are 1 mark answers. All of them have to be learned. Especially karta is very important in that context. Sole proprietorship is very important. Now in 2 mark questions, right, we can say what is unlimited liability, give definition of partnership firm according to Partnership Act of 1932, who is called partner by estoppel, who is called nominal partner, what is partnership deed. Important questions. These are 3 mark questions. this question number 4. Give the meaning of sole proprietorship and explain the characteristics. Very important. Same thing, give the meaning of partnership and explain the characteristics. Sole proprietorship is a training school for business. Explain. Very important, right? Difference between partnership and sole proprietorship, the last topic which we of this chapter, we right, this is the difference. You don't have to learn all the differences, but some of them you have to know. Then we have the advantages of registering the partnership firm, and the 5-mark answers explain the limitation and advantages of sole proprietorship, limitation of partnership firm, and this is the most important. Right? Most important. State the details to be included in partnership deed. Even HUF also better to do it. So these 4 answers always we have to do. Okay, but this is the most important answer, right? Okay, this ends the whole lesson. Hope you understood the entire chapter. It's a very important chapter, and it will continue in the next chapter also, because till now we have seen about sole proprietorship, we have seen HUF, and we will seen partnership. Now the 2 more different forms of business organization, business firms, the cooperative sector and the joint stock company, which are very important, are left, and that will continue in chapter number 6. So see you then. Bye.